Today is my birthday, and we decided to do something really special for the community because we know that a lot of you guys have been wanting to be able to access our full anxiety elimination system that so many hundreds of people have already used to get the mental health that they deserve. But for many of you guys, we know that the biggest thing that's been holding you back is just simply budget or the access to finances. So what we decided to do, since, it's just my only birthday that's going to happen, where I'm going to be the age that I am right now, this is a one-time deal. We just wanted to do something really cool, really special, really unique. And we decided to package all of the different frameworks, all of the different things that we have ever done in the history of our company together and literally give it to you 97.07% off, right? So basically at a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what we've ever charged before. This is the absolute best offer we've ever done. It is the absolute best offer we will ever do. We are not going to be doing this again. And, we just decided to do it as a one-time, experiment, see how you guys like it, and really just to kind of pay it forward and make sure that we could get these life-changing tools into as many people's hands as possible. So for the remainder of today's session here, as I walk through this, I'm literally just going to walk you through exactly what we're including in this just amazing, fantastic offer. It'll all be laid out for you. I'm going to walk through every single thing that you get. And then if you decide to join us, that's fantastic. Because like I said, this is going to be the absolute best offer we ever do. We're never going to do this again. So we hope that you join us. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So the very first thing that you're going to get, perhaps the most important thing, is mental and emotional mastery. This is our award-winning program. It is the #1 program in the world for truly overcoming anxiety. There is no other program out there that provides as deep of a transformation and as lasting of a transformation. There are other programs out there that do little quick fixes and, simple, easy ways for you to start to reduce your anxiety. But this is the #1 program in the world for making sure that you actually get to the root of the anxiety or any other related mental health issue that you're dealing with, and then that you actually address it at the source, that you are able to live a life with daily peace of mind and calm. So I'm not promising you're going to have, a perfect life with zero negative thoughts or feelings ever again, but what it really does is it helps you get rid of the cyclical, chronic, negative emotional patterns, right? So I originally developed this class to basically condense all of the learnings, all of the teachings that I had found to work with my one-on-one clientele in helping them overcome everything from anxiety to depression, etc. And we've really specialized over the years in really helping people with anxiety, but really the program helps people with any mental health issue under the sun. If you've got whatever it is that you're dealing with, this program will address it because we've seen it dozens, if not hundreds of times before. And so to walk you through kind of everything that's included in this, and why, it's won an award by Coach Foundation, why we've been recognized as the #1 mental health coaching company in the world, is because #1, it's helping you overcome any type of limiting mental, emotional, or behavioral patterns, so that you can have real great mental health daily. It's a full online class. It's the exact class that I give to my one-on-one clients where I work with them over the course of 2 or 3 months. And it really is just step by step. It takes out all of the guesswork. It walks you from, let's say day one, we've had people who are so anxious they can't even leave their house and they haven't in 2 or 3 years. Or they're dealing with, very substantial depression or, different challenges. And then typically by day 90, we will usually get somebody at least a 75% reduction in the anxiety, in the depression, in whatever it is that they're struggling with. So you have access to that exact proprietary curriculum. As well, you'll get access to all of the updated versions that we roll out later on. Okay, you will also have lifetime access to detailed support via email to guide you. So you have lifetime access to be able to email us and get a question answered on any, concern or subject. Okay, so that's a big lifeline to make sure that you're implementing things correctly. You can ask questions about the curriculum, the class, all that stuff. So email support is available to you for life as well as the class. Some people ask too, like what format is the class? Well, it's primarily video, but we also know people have other learning preferences. So we also provide for you transcripts of every lesson, summaries of every lesson. We have a workbook that is literally fill in the blank as you go. You get access to the slides. So literally whatever your learning preferences are, you can do it. I've had people who just read the transcripts because they prefer to read. It's all good. You can do all that stuff. You can access it on any device with an internet connection. So, your laptop, your computer, your tablet, your smartphone. Okay, we do have an app that you can use as well to make it easy. So it's on-demand access. Okay, we also do group calls that you'll have access to for life. Okay, so we typically do those once a month on Zoom. So all of the clients can hop on those and I work with people on those calls. So I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes with each person, whoever's got a question or concern. So that's another big value add as well. You have a direct line to me for the rest of your life with this program. You also have a private Facebook group community to be able to get peer support, get an accountability partner, and make sure that any of your questions are answered. And so the other programs in the industry that are kind of similar to this program usually are going between $8,000 and $10,000 is kind of the market average. Our standard price to get access to this material is when people work with us one-on-one, and our standard investment rate for that is typically $4,000. So that is the real actual market price that we sell this information for typically. And so when somebody does that, they get access to this class and then they're working with me, one-on-one. And what we decided to do is to just take all of the online support, the whole class, and just roll it right into this offer, and it's available to you. Okay. So this is the first big major pillar of value that you're going to be getting if you go with us on this birthday promotion. The second thing you're going to be getting as well is our relationship mastery program. And what we teach in the relationship mastery program are the 12 skills to rebuild or create from scratch an extraordinary relationship within about 90 days. Okay, so this program I built a couple years into working with people on their mental health. I had no intentions of working with people on relationships, but what I realized is that you can't help somebody's mental health improve unless you also help their relationships. Like mental health and relationships are literally two sides of the same coin, because any mental health issues, I guarantee you, are rooted in relationship issues, whether it was a relationship with your mom or your dad or your spouse or kids you grew up with or whatever. That's where they come from. And then whatever mental health issues you're dealing with today are affecting the relationships that you're in. So it's just kind of the nature of the human condition. If we really want to make sure that we get you daily peace of mind, daily calm, daily happiness, get rid of anxiety, get rid of depression, get rid of any chronic mental health issues, we gotta set you up to have really amazing relationships. And in particular, your romantic relationship is gonna have a greater impact on your quality of life than just about any other relationship that there is. So in relationship mastery, we primarily focus on romantic relationships. However, these 12 skills are applicable to any relationship as well. So about 80% of the content is really geared towards making sure that you can take your romantic relationship from whatever stage it is, even if you're on the brink of, say, separation or divorce. And that's exactly how the curriculum is designed. So I very often will have clients who I work with, the couple will come together, or even just one member of the couple is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my marriage. It's at, it's absolute worst. What do I do? We take people from being that bad on day one, and then 3 months later, their relationship is fantastic. Not perfect, right? But it is really, really exceptional, and it is continuing to get better every single day. So that's what this program does. That's what this class does. That's what this curriculum does. And we've also helped people use this curriculum to repair relationships with parents and family members. I remember I once had a woman who she had parents who were both addicted to drugs. She used the skills that we taught her in this class to interact with them differently, communicate with them differently, influence them, and their drug rates dropped substantially. I haven't talked to her in a couple of years, so I'm curious how she's doing. But so it's profoundly impactful for being able to communicate with people in a better way to make sure that you really just have fulfilling, strong relationships. There's also a whole bonus lesson, whole bonus segment in this class all about creating cohesive family systems. So we commonly have clients who come to us who say, "Hey, my children are acting out. I'm having a tough time getting them to follow instructions, or they're not doing well at school, or they're exhibiting mental health issues." And what most people don't realize is 80% of the time, if your kids are dealing with mental behavioral issues, it's because there's either a relationship issue going on between the spouses, or there's a mental health issue going on with one or both of the parents. So this marries perfectly well with mental and emotional mastery, because you got to get your mental health figured out, and then you got to, bring in the relationship skills, and this creates a huge boost to your quality of life, right? If we get rid of anxiety, we get rid of whatever you're dealing with mental health wise, and we get your relationships really locked in, I mean, holy cow, that's why we do this. And so very often people do the first one first and then this one second, and it works out really well. So you get all the same stuff here. You get, you have access to be able to attend our live calls where I can support you, email support on any question, concern, relationship wise. And then same thing, you get the videos, the transcripts, the slides, all that good stuff as well. And so, other relationship programs out there, we have seen charge upwards of $10,000. We have always kept our rate for this one, again, same as the mental health one. So people have paid me over the past 9 years. They routinely will pay my company $4,000, where they get access to this curriculum, and then I'm working with them one-on-one to implement it. And we're giving the curriculum away as a part of this, amazing offer for you guys. Okay, we're just rolling it right in for free. So that's a really cool thing. The third thing that we're giving to you guys is Financial Anxiety Annihilator. Okay, so this is where we teach you and walk you through the 7-step framework for creating your financial freedom system, is what we call it. And so the reason I created this was this was fairly early into my career too, and I just realized that a big source of anxiety for people was financial. And what I also realized is that even people who were earning good money, or they, had some kind of a plan, they were putting money in their 401k, or they had some savings, or, whatever. What I realized is that there were key things that people were missing, that just very, very simple, very data driven, easy to tap into systems that you can use. That, this is not like pie in the sky. This is not Bitcoin investment. This is not, NFTs. Okay, this is not some like pyramid scheme thing. What we do is we basically set our clients up through the 7-step process to make sure that they have a plan that basically guarantees that they are going to achieve financial freedom in their lifetime. So I want to be very clear what I'm saying here. This is not a program of how to get rich quick, how to double your money, how to whatever. That's not what this program is. What this program is how do you create a financial system that is safe, that is reliable, that does not require constant hands-on management, that basically you can put on autopilot, and that is grounded in over 100 years of proven data and analysis. Okay, so this is not based off some trend. This is not based off of like, hey, let's start you a brand new business. This is not one of those get rich quick things. What this really is it's to make sure that you have a really solid foundational understanding of how to master your finances, right? It is not like, I very much wanted the program to not be some here's how you're going to get rich quick. So basically what we do is we walk you through a 7-step process that works for anybody. It doesn't matter what your income level is. You can literally be at the poverty line, and we will walk you through how, if you just allocate a super, super tiny percentage of your income to the right type of investment, then over the course of 10, 20, 30 years, depending on what amount you're putting in, you will hit a critical mass point where your investments are accruing. And what this is based on, one of the things that we teach people is Number one, where you can invest your money, where you have the lowest fees, the lowest commissions out there from fund managers. And then more importantly, where you can get a 10.9% average annual return. Okay. And that is based off of over 100 years of data. Okay, so and the sort of cool secret sauce is we show you how to make sure that you are diversifying through what we call index funds. And index funds is the safest, most reliable way for the average investor to make sure that they can hit a point at some point in their life where they don't have to work anymore, and that their freedom fund is really supporting their lifestyle. So once you see the numbers, once you see like the exact statistical analysis that we walk you through, you'll think to yourself, why in the hell did I not do this before? This is the most obvious, simple thing. Why don't they teach this in high school? Right? That's how simple this is. And we just walk you through the exact numbers. This is the exact system that I'm on, that my family is on. I've gotten all of my family members on this system. It just flat out works. Okay. And, I don't have the time to go into every single layer and detail of it for you right now. But it is absolutely worth its weight in gold. In fact, when we have sold this program before on its own, what we typically charge for it is $400, which is an absolute steal, because we put in writing what we call our $100,000 guarantee. And so whenever we've sold this program individually, what we do is we promise people this in writing. We say, if you complete the course and the assignments, and you have not figured out how to create an extra $100,000 for your household in your lifetime by using the material in this class, then we will give you either a complete and full refund, or we will literally coach you one-on-one to help you make sure that you do this. So the program, I've never had a client that I walk through this curriculum where that we don't figure out how to get them either $100,000 in extra savings, $100,000 in extra investment income, or an extra $100,000 in personal income, because we also teach you how to get promotions and negotiate raises and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a banger. It is an absolute awesome curriculum. I honestly am kicking myself that I don't push this out to the world more. It's kind of something I built years ago, and we just kind of give to people as a bonus here and there. But it is awesome, right? So that you get this completely for free. It's typically $400, okay? What we're also giving you completely for free is the 50 by 50 overwhelm elimination system. So what this is this is for people who have trouble with motivation, follow through, procrastination, and if they feel overwhelmed, they feel like they got too much on their plate and they got a lot to get done in very little time, this is for you, okay? So what I realized is years ago, I realized I had to give people a system so that they could master their time. Because if I helped them fix their relationships, if I helped them fix their finances, if I helped them deal with anxiety at the core, that's all great. But if I didn't give them a daily system to make sure that they were getting the important stuff done, they were keeping themselves focused, they were being effective with their time, not just being busy, right? They were being productive, not just busy, then it was just a matter of time before they kind of relapsed. So this is a very short, but very, very powerful program. It's literally 2 videos, but these 2 videos are insanely valuable. The first video walks you through the daily planning system. We call it the Personal Freedom Day Planner, okay? So it's literally the daily system that I've used for years to keep myself on track, to run my business, to run my life, to manage my team, to do all the things that I do, and to stay anxiety free. And you get also a PDF of this, so you can print off as many of these day planners as you need, right? So it becomes the system daily that keeps yourself on track. We give you the video masterclass that walks you through the philosophy of it, that shows you how to switch from what we call the zone of reactivity, which is where you're constantly just reacting to things in your life, to switching into what we call the zone of intentionality, where you feel like you're the one in the driver's seat of your life. You feel like you are really the CEO of your life, basically. Okay. And then what we also give you is what we call our life mastery planning system. Okay, so this is a little more advanced, but this is how you can make sure that you are making weekly progress in each of the areas of life mastery, each of the areas of life that matter. Your career, your relationships, your finances, your physical health, your spirituality, and your emotions. Those are the 6 areas that if you're feeling like you're making progress on them, you're never going to have anxiety again, pretty much, right? You're going to be thriving. You're going to be in the top 1% of the population. And so it's a system for making sure that you can finally feel organized, finally feel that everything is put together in a nice, simple, easy to use way. So the value of this, I mean, I don't even know what value to put on it. You know, we put $500 on the screen, but if you had a system to make sure you never felt overwhelmed, you don't procrastinate anymore, and you felt motivated every day, I mean, what is that really worth? I don't know. But I will tell you what we've sold it for historically is $200, right? Specifically $197. So that's the typical rate. Like whenever somebody wants to buy this on their own, that's what it is, but we've included it for free for you here. Okay. The next thing that we're giving you too is something really cool. We have not released this in years. I mean, it's been a really, really long time. We've really had this locked down. And that's kind of part of why we call it the coaching vault. Okay, so what this is these are some of the original trainings from the first couple of years of my career when I was helping people improve their career, get promotions, get raises, improve relationships, break negative habits, improve their physical health, improve their physical energy. There's stuff, all of those areas I was just mentioning, it basically has trainings on each one of those 6 key areas before we really niched down and started specifically helping people with mental health as our primary thing. So there's just a huge treasure trove of stuff inside of this vault. I remember one of the trainings is called 51 Strategies for High Performance, right? Living a high performance lifestyle. That's just one of the 56 trainings, right? So there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's 4 full-length webinar masterclasses on how to advance your career and increase your earnings. There's a 10-part series on mastering your psychology and your emotions. There's a 7-part series on mastering your financial future. We have lessons on how to improve your productivity, your focus, your performance, lessons on how to change behaviors, habits, improve your follow-through, how to improve or create exceptional relationships, a 6-part series on being more influential and persuasive. Okay, there's just a lot of really, really cool stuff in there. We have typically in the past, we've sold this for kind of as honestly really like a throwaway price of $97, right? We always want to make sure we want to make sure that you feel like you ripped us off, right? That's how every single thing is structured. We want to make sure the value is well in excess of what you've paid. And so even the sticker price for this before was an absolute steal at $97, but we just threw it in and gave it to you completely for free. Okay. And then the next thing that we're giving you, I know it just keeps going on and on and on, right? So we're also giving you my class called Mastering Ethical and Lasting Influence. This is a really exciting one because we haven't given this out to people in a long time. And really what it is it's about how to communicate ethically and powerfully to get what you want. So people often ask me like, well, Ty, how in the world do you take somebody from anxious and depressed on day 1 to literally free from anxiety, free from depression? Their whole life is turning around in 90 days. And people very often like will witness what I do on even just a single session, and how people very often tell me like, Ty, I feel like I got more out of this one session than I did from years with my therapist. And they ask me like, how do you do this stuff? And the thing is, from a very, very early age, like my teens, I started obsessively studying the psychology of influence, persuasion, and leadership. How do you actually get people to change their minds, change their beliefs, change their behaviors? Okay, how do you do that? What is the science behind that? And that's basically what this program has. That's one of the first things I did early on in my career. It's a really exciting program, and it really helps you become basically a powerful and ethical communicator. So it's how do you influence people? How do you get them to change their behavior? But how do you do it ethically, but also powerfully, right? So that's what we do. So with this, you get lifetime access to over 15 hours of mastery level online training covering the entire process of how to develop ethical and lasting influence with anyone. There's 15 mastery modules covering the entire influence process from start to finish. Also with exact like things to say. Like here's the exact thing to say here. Here's the exact type of email you can write. Here's what you can put in your video here, all that type of stuff. And then we give you also the Mastering Ethical and Lasting Influence action book. So you can take all the key concepts and make sure that it is implemented. So in the past, we have, I mean, people have paid me hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour to teach them this stuff. The typical price for just the curriculum is typically $397. We just rolled it in as a part of this massive bundle, so it's yours completely, totally free. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're taking all 6 of these classes, right? The total value, right? The actual value, like in terms of improving your quality of life, is well over $100,000. And that is, I can say that with a complete, total, clear conscience, hand on my heart. I know absolutely for sure that that value is there because it's just what we've done. I mean, the past 9 years, these programs have given people the mental health that they deserve. I mean, like, what would it be worth to 90 days from now no longer be dealing with anxiety? Just that alone. Like, if you could pay a certain amount and you could snap your fingers and 90 days from now you don't have anxiety anymore. I mean, what would that be worth? I mean, it's worth its weight in gold. What would it be worth to have the relationship with your spouse that you've always wanted to have in a couple of months' time, right? I mean, there's just no price tag you can put on these things. What would it be worth to have a real rock solid financial plan where you finally no longer have anxiety? You feel absolutely sure you can look every single day and know mathematically within a 10% margin of error where you're going to end up 10, 20, 30 years from now financially, to have that level of clarity and certainty with your financial plan. Okay, there's just no way to put a price tag on these things, right? So the value is well in excess of $100,000. I really, truly believe that. And I've had people even tell me that, like, that they would have paid hugely much more than they did in the past. Now, the honest to God, real price that we have charged people for this access to this information, all of these things combined in the past up until today, has been $9,779. That, like, if you were going to get access to all these things any other time, that's what you'd be paying, right? If you were going to get access to all of it. And what we're doing today, and it is only today, is, again, we're giving this off 97.07% off. It is literally available for just $297. You get all of these things, okay? So all you got to do is just go to mentalhealthcoaching.com/birthday, and you'll be able to access it, and it's just our gift to you, okay? And what we decided to do too, I wanted to add in something special because we did this birthday promotion one other time. We did it when my wife was having her birthday. And basically what we were doing at the time was we really wanted to celebrate and do something special because she had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer, and that next birthday meant a lot. And so we did a promotion similar to this. We just pushed it out to our community, and the reception was amazing. And so many people got access to these tools. So many lives were changed. It was just a really exciting thing for our family to see all of those people whose lives changed as a result. This time is the second and final and only remaining time that we're ever going to do this. And I decided to do something extra to make it a little extra special. So I wanted to throw in just something extra to make it extra cool for those of you who, were still on the fence in any way. So what we're also throwing is a completely free bonus, which is a half an hour call with me, a 25-minute one-on-one coaching session directly with me. Okay. And basically, this is something that we typically would charge $200 for. My typical hourly rate, my standard hourly rate is typically $400 an hour. Okay, and so it would typically be $200 for half an hour of my time, and we're just giving this to you completely for free. So I very routinely will have people who tell me, like, things like, I had one guy who told me, Ty, this is what I've been craving to learn from my therapist for years, and I never did. I had another person who said, I learned more in half an hour speaking to you than I did from 10 years with my therapist. Okay, so it's very powerful, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here because it's not about me, it's about you, and what it really is it's about the effectiveness of the tools. It's about the effectiveness of the methods and the frameworks, and it's just We know, and I know, that what we teach works. It just flat out works. And that's why, we've been doing this for almost a decade. That's why our reputation is what it is in the industry. It's why we've been recognized as the #1 mental health coaching company in the world. It's because the tools just flat out work. So I don't even want to take credit for it. It's not that I'm so great. It's just that I've been so obsessed over the years of figuring out what truly will move the needle for people. Because I remember what it felt like when I was horribly anxious, I was horribly depressed, I was suicidal, I was on medication, I was in therapy, and I had been on medication and in therapy for about 2 years. And I remember thinking to myself, I cannot live like this anymore. Like something has to change, but no one's giving me answers, And my psychiatrist is not giving me answers. My psychologist is not giving me answers. No one has a plan. No one, there's gotta be a way to break free from this garbage. There has to be a way to do it. And it was that just frankly, just total pain I was in, honestly, back then, and realizing like, if I don't figure this out, like I'm gonna take my own life. Like I have to find the way. And then just obsessing for years and years and years, reading every book I could possibly find, going through every class I could possibly find, researching every day, trying to figure out how to get this thing done. And it slowly but surely figuring it out and figuring out what worked in this situation and then going, okay, cool. Well, now I know what works in that situation. And then piecing it together and finally getting my own mental health where I needed it to be, which took what felt like forever. But then finally being able to look back and go, holy shit, I made it out. I made it out. And if I made it out, other people deserve to make it out too, because the most recent data is alarming, right? Only 25% of people who use medication for their mental health ever find it to be satisfactory and like a real full solution. Less than 50% of people, according to the NHS, less than 50% of people who do talk therapy find it to be sufficient. So I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only person on earth that therapy and medication, it just wasn't working. And then I had to find out a new way to get the mental health I wanted. And what I have now learned is that it's actually the majority of people. The majority of people are trying to do the right thing. The majority of people are people like you. They're trying to do the right thing. They're doing what they've been told to do. They're trying the medications. They're trying the therapy. They're trying the regular coping stuff. They've tried all the books and the self-help stuff, and it's just not working. And this stuff, this is my life's work, what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is my whole life's work. It's all been for people like you, because who you are is who I was. And I don't want 50% of the population to go without a solution for their mental health. You deserve to have a solution. You deserve to have the mental health you deserve. Okay. And so that's what we do. That's why we do this. That's what this is for. Very truthfully, that's why we do it. And why we're doing this crazy special thing for my birthday is because we know that your number two concerns, your two biggest concerns are gonna be, okay, number one, is it gonna work for me? Can I know for sure? Can I really trust this guy and know that it's gonna work? And so that's why we've tried to reduce the barrier to entry so high. Okay. And the number two concern is it gonna be worth it? Is it really gonna be worth my time to learn this stuff, to implement it, to use it? And so on the is it worth it question, we're giving you 97.07% off, right? We want to make sure there's absolutely no doubt or question in your mind. This is absolutely worth it. On the question of can it absolutely work, what I encourage you to do, just you can go to ty-hicks.com/testimonies, read what people say, listen to what people say. We have dozens of video interviews on there. We've got hundreds of written reviews. You can see what other people say. But what we're also happy to do is we'll give you, if you're not thrilled with this within your first 14 days, just write us. We'll give you a refund. No problem. Okay. If for any reason you try it out, you go through this curriculum for the first couple weeks. If you're not absolutely sold by just using the system, then that's fine. You'll get all your money back. So you don't even have to commit today. You don't even have to decide today. I just want you to make an informed decision by actually using this stuff. So that way you don't have to take my word for it. Try it, use it for yourself, and that way you'll know. Okay. So just go to mentalhealthcoaching.com/birthday if you want to try this out. And like I said, it's only available today. This is literally going away at the end of the day. So go to mentalhealthcoaching.com/birthday. You'll see everything in writing right there. Or you'll see a button right here on this page. You can just go ahead and click and join us. And we'll be very excited to see you and thank you for participating in this. We just wanted to do this to make sure that we remove any barrier to entry. There's also some pay later options on the checkout page. So if you're like, man, I really, really want to do this, I just do not have $297 right now, then there are options. There's Affirm, there's Klarna. You'll see on the checkout page, there's some options where you can split it up into as many as I think like payments of like 27 bucks or something like that. So we wanted to make sure it was totally accessible for everybody. Okay. So mentalhealthcoaching.com/birthday. Go ahead and go there now. We'll see you on the other side. Can't wait. Take care. Bye.